Pull out. Don't do it. Don't do it. Good boy. Who's a good boy? You're a good boy. Pretty much my whole life, motorcycles have just been like the most incredible thing to me. Really anything with wheels and an engine, trains, cars, motorcycles, but anytime I'd see a motorcycle, it'd just be like, wow, that's awesome. So I think I was about, I was 7 or 8 years old. There's a garage sale in my neighborhood. So I walked over there, rode my bike, whatever, I don't really remember what it was. And there was this, I believe it's, honestly, I don't know what year it is. It's like a 1986 XR80, Honda XR80. And it was for sale for like 80 bucks. And, you know, being 7, 8 years old, 80 bucks, like, was no small deal, of course. So I went and I, like, talked to my mom. And, you know, I had the money. Believe it or not, I, like, in my piggy bank, I had enough money to do it. But, you know, I wanted mom's approval because I wasn't just about to push this bike home and, you know, make her upset. She probably wouldn't have been too upset. It's my money. I can do what I want with it, even when I was 7 or 8 years old. So anyway, I ended up buying this bike. Complete piece of shit. Didn't run. At some point, I took it apart before it ever ran, and it's been sitting in a cardboard box ever since. So I've never got to ride it. I'm sure it would run with, you know, minimal engine work. Who knows? Maybe even just needed a spark plug. I really have no idea at this point. It's been so long. But, yep, it's still sitting in a box, disassembled. So, anyway, that was my first bike purchase. And also at that garage sale, there was a, oh, shoot, what was it? Why am I completely blank? Oh, yeah, duh. It was a PW80. I was thinking TTR. I have a TTR 90 now, but it was a PW80, and the price they had on it was like $900 or $700 or something like that. So I looked at it and I'm like, oh shoot, like there's no way. And I mean, this thing was nice. It was in pretty good shape. The thing ran, which is the most important part. And I was just like, oh man, I'd die to have that. So, you know, I didn't even really think about it. I probably asked my dad a little bit, and he was like, no, I don't know. My dad has always been one to be into motorcycles, four-wheelers, fast cars, all that stuff. So it's not that he wasn't supportive. He was just, you know, maybe it wasn't the right time. So anyway, I went home. I had to push that 80 home with a flat tire. Did that all by myself. Little kid. I wasn't that far from me, but it was definitely quite a hike for a little kid to push a dirt bike with a flat tire. So yeah, anyway, I don't even know the time frame, but maybe it was even as much as a couple weeks later. My dad and I go to the shop, and I'm like helping him clean some stuff. We may have actually been disassembling the XR80 at that point, and all of a sudden he like rolls in this blue bike, and I was like, oh, like what the heck is that? Like, whose is that? And then he's like, well, what do you mean? And I'm like, whose is it? He's like, oh, that's yours. And I'm like, no way. Like, I was the most excited I've ever been. That was such an awesome experience, even though I vaguely remember it. But I was definitely in a little bit of disbelief. That's what really started the whole drive for wanting to ride a motorcycle. So I got that PW80, had a blast on it. I didn't get to ride very often. Unfortunately, we lived in the city. Fucking asshole. So I only get to ride like maybe twice a year, going up north doing trails, and maybe a few other times riding around in the grass behind my dad's shop. So I didn't get to ride very often. I wanted to. Like, I would have ridden that thing every day if I could. But so then after having that for a little while, I ended up getting a TTR 125. I won't go into huge detail on everything, but rode that. That was another great bike, another Yamaha. I mean, duh, Of course it was a good bike. And again, I never really got to ride it a whole lot. I was kind of toward the end of having that bike, getting to the point where I could, at least I had friends that could drive. I was in high school, like my freshman year, maybe it was even like 8th grade after, or like the summer after 8th grade going into high school. But anyway, I met this friend. He was a senior in high school. He was kind of like, I looked up to him a lot. He had a 4-wheeler, so we'd go ride around his house every so often. But anyway, so I rode that probably, it sounds weird, like, yeah, it must have been into high school, freshman year. Yeah, freshman year. And then I ended up somewhere in freshman year trading the TTR with an XR250 that it's the same 1996 XR250 that is in a lot of my videos. Ashley rode it a lot when we were dating. Spees Knees, if you don't, I'm sure you know Ashley Spees Knees. So that was a great bike, runs great, awesome. Definitely not toward the performance end, but anyway, rode that for a while. Started riding a little bit more since I had my license. I could tow it places, but still not. Just wasn't riding as much as I wish I could have. Of course, I was busy with rowing. I was on the rowing team in high school, so that bike was great. I turned 18, got my motorcycle endorsement. I got the XR250 street legal. It already had a street title, but it needed some work on the lights and stuff. Got that all set up. Holy crap, that was the real turning point for me. I rode that thing probably every single day I could. I was in school. I was in the summer. I don't know if I actually ever rode that bike to school, to the community college I went to. But, yeah, that was the turning point. I mean, every second I could, I was on that bike. My parents were all like, we don't really want you riding on the street. Like, it's okay if you go out every once in a while, or go ride the dirt roads in the back, you know, behind town or whatever. But we don't really want you out there. It's, you know, we just think it's too dangerous. Well, I did it anyway because, and they were cool with it. You know, they're like, well, that's your decision. It's your bike, your safety. We just advise that we're just telling you that we don't like the idea of you doing it. But you know, I started doing it more and more. They kind of got over it. I was always mainly I just stayed on dirt roads. I never really went through town a whole lot. But the dirt roads were more fun. It had knobby tires on it, so Tyler 2 Wheels and I, we just go shred. XR250 and the DR200, we just go rip around the dirt roads, do wheelies, like the crappiest wheelies you could ever imagine me doing. But we all gotta start somewhere, so never think, if you're having a hard time doing wheelies, don't look at other people and think, oh, well, they're so good, they're naturally born with it. Nah, it takes a lot of practice, and I'll put up some clips eventually of me trying wheelies on the XR250 way back when. So yeah, then from there I started riding more and more, and my buddy Tommy got a WR250. It was a WR450. It was 2003, so it was like the first year they made the 450. I rode that thing, and I'm like, holy shit, this thing has got some balls. Which is funny, because compared to like this bike now, that thing's got no balls. Just because it's old, it was worn out, carbureted. But I rode that thing, and I'm like, wow, alright, this XR250 just is not cutting it anymore. So I started looking. Of course, you know, I guess my family's kind of always been one to buy you, or at least my dad. Holy shit, there is snow on the ground. Anyway, my dad's always one who, you know, he doesn't seem to like buy new things in terms of vehicles and, you know, high price items like that. So he was kind of saying like, just look for a nice used bike. Well, probably 2 weeks after I started looking at these WRs, I went into dealerships, was asking for prices. I was so close to just buying one brand new. I found this 2013 WR450, which was Sheila, the blue one that I had before Stacy here, and went over to this dude's house like a couple days later, bought it. I think I paid I paid $6,300 for it. It only had like 30 miles on it. They got it from the dealership, rode it, decided they wanted something different. So I got basically a brand new bike for a lot less than a new one would have cost. So that was incredible. And once I got that thing, I was definitely riding all the time. I even like stopped working out, which I was a huge workout nut. I was pretty ripped, in awesome shape. I was close to 180 pounds. Right now I'm probably about 155. Granted, my foot injury caused me to sit for 5 months, so I just lost weight. I lost all my muscle. But anyway, I absolutely love that. This kind of transitions into how I started moto vlogging, but I'm going to save that for a different video because this one's already going to run on pretty long. But yeah, so I got that, started riding all the time, met up with some people. I ended up meeting this guy with another WR450 in 2013, and we were talking on this one group ride, and he's like, yeah, I got mine from some retired sheriff for like, you know, $6,400 or whatever. The guy rode it around his yard a few times and then decided he didn't want it, and I'm like, huh, that sounds like the exact same story of mine. Well, it turns out we bought our bikes from the same dude. Him and his son bought matching bikes, brand new, rode them around a little bit, and then decided they wanted to sell them. So that turns out to be a trade-o for show, or BeRAD as we call him. You've definitely seen videos of him doing some dank woolies in my videos. He's really awesome. So yeah, like that's just incredible how small of a world it is. But anyway, he had a supermoto set up, I think pretty much as soon as he got the bike. And I think I've maybe seen one supermoto before, and that was Cole on the KTM 450. I was riding around by myself one day. He went by with a bunch of sport bikes, ripped a 12 o'clock wheelie, and I'm like, holy shit, that dude is nuts. So I was like, whoa, what are these goofy, tiny clown wheels on it? Like, why the hell do you have that? And then like we were talking, and I didn't really know about it, but eventually, of course, I ended up getting a set of supermoto wheels, same wheels I've got on this bike, that were on the other WR. And I don't think I need to explain the rest, but I've fallen in love with it ever since then. So now I've got a 2015 WR450, the one I'm riding right now, and then I also have the 2016 YZ250X, and now it's a full-time job for me. I'm 100% self-employed, doing moto vlogging, selling parts, merchandise, of course some odd jobs here and there. No, I'm not like a drug dealer or a pimp. I mean like helping friends and family move stuff like that. Small jobs. But yeah, I mean, it's so funny how, you know, a little bit of generosity from my dad way back long ago, I could say, is not to blame, but the cause of me being where I'm at today and doing what I loved and what I've always dreamed of. I never thought I'd be able to ride a motorcycle for a living. Granted, I don't really ride a motorcycle for a living. I edit videos and make things to sell, but either way, I get to do it as part of my job, and that is freaking awesome. So I don't know if there's a whole lot more to say about that. I'm sure that cleared up most of the questions you guys had for me about that. If you do have any more, again, in the comments, just let me know. I'll try and respond. I know I've been terrible about responding to comments lately. I've been super busy trying to pump videos out. I've been doing a lot of riding, a lot of traveling, and yeah. So anyway, I hope you understand. Don't take it personally if I don't respond. I used to respond to every single comment, like literally every single comment. Unfortunately, it's just not possible anymore. I can't keep up with it. I gotta live, like, as much as I'd love to. I love that connection with you guys. I've gotta live, you know, somewhat of like a personal life away from YouTube and even bikes. Like, I love bikes, but sometimes you just gotta get away from it a little. So anyway, I got nothing else to say about that. So thanks a lot for watching. I hope you liked the video, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace.